Are you hesitating to order a Luba 3? Well, this video is made for you. I'm going to give you my opinion. We're going to look at all the strengths and weaknesses of the Luba 3. I'll also share my user experience and whether you'll need to pay for a subscription in the future. I'm lucky enough to be able to test the Luba 3 and to have tested all the previous models, which allows me today to have enough perspective and tell you whether this robotic lawnmower is really the best one or if it's something to avoid. Before we start, please note that you'll find the robot link in the description and you can benefit from a €50 discount. As you probably know, the robot positions itself using its LiDAR, which measures the distance between the robot and surrounding obstacles, but also with its vision, which is simply its camera, and with NetRTK, which is the robot's 4G connection, free for 3 years. NetRTK, the 4G connection, allows for better accuracy. This robot is a 4-wheel drive, perfectly suited for difficult gardens. I was able to test it on slopes of up to 80%, which is the maximum it can handle, and it performs quite well on 70% slopes. Beyond that, it may slip a little if the ground is dry, but otherwise it's very impressive when climbing. It also avoids obstacles, objects like trees. If you have dog toys or soccer balls lying around, it will easily navigate around most objects. You can also automatically adjust the cutting height via the Mammotion app from 2.5 centimeters up to 7 centimeters. Where it becomes very interesting is its powerful cutting motors, 165 watts each for the 3000 and 5000 versions, which allows it to cut grass efficiently in spring when the grass is tougher and grows quickly. Note that the 1500 version is slightly less powerful, but still perfectly adequate, as you can imagine. There are therefore 4 models: 1500 for up to 1500 square meters, 3000 for 3000 square meters, 5000 for 5000 square meters, and a 10,000 version for 10,000 square meters. You can set up multiple mowing zones depending on the version you choose. What I really like about this model is the light, which allows it to mow when it's getting dark or even at night. This is very practical, especially if you have a large area. When days are shorter and it gets dark earlier, it's useful because you can tell it to mow later, and the light helps it detect more objects. It also adapts to holes and bumps thanks to its front shock absorbers, so if your garden is a bit uneven, it will be perfectly suited. The fact that it has 2 cutting decks gives it a 40-centimeter cutting width, and thanks to that, the robotic mower can work much faster. We'll see a few downsides just after. Let's finish with the strengths. Each blade has 4 sides, so with one blade, you're usually set for the whole season, and replacements are easy to find online. It's constantly improving. Mammotion provides regular updates. There's also an update for blade rotation speed. You now have 3 speed modes: slow, medium, and fast. For example, in spring, if you have thick or heavy grass, you can use the fast mode, which consumes a bit more battery but cuts much better. The battery is 15 ampere hours on the 5000 model. Be careful. On the 3000 model, it's 12 ampere hours, and on the 1500 model, 9.4 ampere hours, with smart management. That means you can tell it to resume mowing when it reaches 80% battery. We'll see a small downside related to the battery just after. It is IPX6 waterproof, but be careful not to use a high-pressure washer underneath the robot, as it's not recommended. There's even a crossed-out logo. At most, a light rinse is fine. Personally, I don't really clean it with water. I remove anything stuck with a stick, and it comes off very easily once it's dry. You don't need Wi-Fi throughout your entire garden. Wi-Fi allows for video feedback, but with the free 4G for 3 years, you can also get video feedback. It also allows you to manage the robot remotely, provided your area has good 4G coverage. Be careful if your garden is sometimes very wet. When it turns, it can slightly tear up the lawn. This mainly happens in winter. It has a rain sensor to detect when it's raining and decide whether it should continue mowing or not. That's up to you. There's also a much more powerful AI chip compared to the previous version, allowing it to detect objects quickly. I tested removing the 4G to see if the robot would work using only the LiDAR and the camera. I'm currently testing it in a large garden. I start the mowing. Everything is okay. still without 4G, only with LiDAR. It remains quite accurate, within about 10 centimeters. The robot has completed almost half the area. Honestly, it's still quite clean. You can see a few small areas where the robot didn't pass, but I think it looks clean. It also avoided all the inspection covers very well. Regarding the subscription, after 3 years, you can either choose the 4G option for better accuracy, especially recommended for large gardens, for around €50 per year, or purchase it every 2 or 3 months, which works out cheaper. Another downside, in my opinion, is battery access. Mammotion is currently working on it. For now, you need to disassemble the robotic mower. There's no easy access like on the mini versions, where the battery was detachable at the rear. Aside from that, the robot is very well built. I've never been disappointed with the Luba 2 versions or earlier ones, and this one even less. It's very accurate with its 3 positioning modes. It's suitable for large gardens, whether flat or complex. If you have a lot of trees and the RTK antenna doesn't work well, this robot is perfect. With good 4G coverage, it's even better and highly recommended. For difficult gardens, I clearly recommend it. It's designed for that. 4-wheel drive, 80% slope capability, suspension, and adaptation to all types of terrain. If your budget isn't quite there yet, there's always the Luba 2 version, which is quite similar, mainly with a different positioning system and a few changes. It works very well and is currently much cheaper. I'll put all the details and the product link in the description so you can compare. You get a €50 discount on your first order. Using this link greatly supports my work at no extra cost to you, and it helps me continue translating videos like this one and assisting you in the comments or via private message. I always reply quickly, usually within the day. I'll see you next time. Have an excellent day.